Welcome again to Joe Stunner Boxing. Wendy Toussaint moved to 17 wins with 7 KOs, 3 defeats, no draws. He is a 33-year-old super welterweight, originally from Haiti, and he now lives, I think, in New York, trains in New York. He defeated Joseph Hicks, who was undefeated previously in 12 fights, 12 wins with 8 KOs. 31-year-old from Grand Rapids, Michigan. And Toussaint is one of those sort of nearly guys, or at least he was until he had this fight, because he lost a unanimous decision to, I can't remember the guy's name, it was in 2024, so last year, mid-last year, about a year ago, unanimous decision to an undefeated guy. If you go back further, he lost a technical decision, I think it might have been a split, and that was against Adriel Holmes Jr., and then if you go way, way back to 2020, he was stopped in 9 rounds by Charles Conwell, who was undefeated, at the time. Having said that, he's also beaten some guys with pretty decent records. Not just Hicks. Hicks obviously undefeated, but he's beaten guys like a senior Byfeld, who's a pretty decent fighter, probably better than his record suggests. 1 in 8 round decision over him. And this guy, he's got that sort of gatekeeper vibe to him. And he, before this fight with Hicks, he was saying, I'm going to take you into deep waters. I'm going to knock you out. I'm going to beat you up. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do the other. They all say this, don't they? But at the opening bell, it looked like he meant it, because he came out flying at Wendy Toussaint. And Hicks looked a bit sort of taken back, a little bit unnerved, because there were enormous right hands coming over from Toussaint, and Toussaint had really quick feet. He was getting into range and then bang, 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 but nearly all right hand work, very few left hooks coming in. But it was enough to sort of knock Hicks off his perch, and suddenly Hicks found himself hurt. I mean, not badly stunned, but he was getting hurt. He was feeling the weight of the punches. He was basically being bullied and ragdolled around the ring for the first 4 rounds, virtually. Toussaint really on a mission here. It's like, I've been beaten in the past by these, leading lights and supposed prospects, but this fight's going to be mine. And the only way that Hicks could possibly reply would be to either hurt Toussaint, maybe with a single punch, or floor him, or do something to stem the tide, or, far better, to find his own rhythm, his own range, and to start using his jab and outbox Toussaint, because it didn't look like he was going to hurt Toussaint, to be honest with you. Toussaint got a very good jaw. He did get stopped by Conwell 5 years ago, but, it's just a learning fight. Sometimes these things go that way. But you could see the experience with Toussaint, not remotely bothered by being the underdog, didn't care about the event. This was on DAZN. It was like, what the hell, I'm fine. I'm just gonna beat you. But then in the 5th round, Hicks did, he did find his range, did find some rhythm, and he started to box. And that was the first round I gave Hicks, was the 5th. And Toussaint, you were thinking, well, has he sort of blown a gasket? Has he, used up a bit too much energy too soon? Or this was a 10-rounder. But I have to say, perseverance. He kept on putting the pressure on with less intensity, it has to be said. So Hicks was able to win a couple of rounds. I mean, I thought this was a sort of 97, 93, 98, 92 victory for Toussaint. But Hicks was able to sort of fiddle his way through the rounds and was landing his own punches eventually. I mean, the second half of the fight was a much better experience for Hicks in the first half. He was able to land his own punches and give Toussaint something to think about, because the first half of the fight he was getting ragdolled. But I have to say that there's no doubt who won this fight, and that was Wendy Toussaint. And when they announced a majority decision, 95-95, one of them had it, one of the judges. I'm thinking, they're not going to rob the kid, are they? Oh, for Christ's sake. He's 33 now, Toussaint, so he needs that win. He needs a win. And Hicks is 31, which for a prospect is quite old. But No, the two of the judges got it right, gave it to Toussaint, who was very emotional afterwards. Jumped on the ring post and was, almost like he was crying. It's like, finally, I've got the rub of the green. And he deserves it as well, because this was a very, very good performance by Toussaint. And, with his skills, with the pressure, I mean, he doesn't have one-punch power. He's only got 7 KOs in 17 wins. But with his skills, that front-footed aggression, he's entertaining to watch. And he'll give you work. I mean, given the right promotional push, I think the guy can move forward and have a very 33 again. I mean, I repeat that the age is against him, but I'd put him in with some leading, some of the top welterweights, and if he wins, if he scores another upset, he's right in the mix, isn't he? As for Joseph Hicks, all right, he's 31, not particularly young, but not old. He's got to go back, learn from this fight. He's going to be a better fighter for those 10 rounds with Wendy Toussaint. He's going to be, because that was an experience he'd never seen before. And if you look at the quality of his opposition previously, it's not like he was fighting absolute nobodies. He beat a guy called Keon Papillon. He stopped him in 7. I think it was an 8-rounder. In his last fight, he was undefeated. Papillon was in 10 or 11 fights. And he's been fighting those sort of, well, I mean, some of the quality hasn't been good, but this was a jump up. This was clearly a jump up. But that's what you got to do. And if you lose, you just got to say, okay, well, what did I do wrong? How can I fix this? Should I have done that? You go through it with a fine-tooth comb, find out what you can improve on, and then improve. Because Joseph Hicks looked like a pretty good fighter to me. He just come up short against a more experienced fighter, and a guy who was probably on it more. Because I think if you're undefeated and you've had things your own way, and then you come up against someone who thinks, I don't give a fuck who you are, I don't care what you've done in the past, this is now, this is me you're in against. I like that. I like that attitude. And for the weight, Hicks is quite tall. He's a little bit over 6 foot, like 6'1" maybe. Toussaint's not short. He was about 5'10", 5'11", but if you've got those long levers, and it looked to me like Hicks when he was able to box, was pretty good. So he can build on that. He can come back if he wants to. He can come back, but give Wendy Toussaint a chance. Let's see him in there with one of the top 5 now. Let's see how good he really is. Give him a big payday as well, because I think he's earned it. So I don't know whether you saw this fight, but if you did, leave your comments below. Thanks for watching the video, and if you liked it, please subscribe to the channel and hit the like button as well. I appreciate your support. Of course I do. I always do. All right, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you very much, and bye for now.